Could Bruno Fernandes be leaving Manchester United this summer? Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. And yes, the rumour mill of the transfer window is certainly heating up in the very early stages of the post-season slash preparation for next season. That kind of weird middle ground between obviously the reflecting on last season and obviously beginning preparations for next season. The rumour mill is certainly spinning and heating up, people, and the latest big rumour to come out is about Manchester United's talismanic figure of Bruno Fernandes. Could he be on his way out of Old Trafford this summer? Well, according to certain reports, and particularly one Fabrizio Romano, usually the man in the know on these kinds of things, allegedly his agent has been talking, and it sparked speculation about whether or not Fernandes will be at Manchester United next season. Of course, there's a lot of speculation surrounding Erik ten Hag. We are still no clearer to the answer of whether Erik ten Hag will still be in charge of Manchester United next season. And the sort of unknown, I guess you could say, of Manchester United has seemingly sparked talk about Bruno Fernandes maybe planning his future away from Old Trafford. We're going to be talking about what Romano said. We're going to be talking about what the rumours are speculating and what I personally think about Fernandes as well. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That'll make for great and interesting reading on this video. On this particular topic. I'm sure they'll make for great and interesting reading down there, so please do get involved. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's get on. We're talking about Bruno Fernandes and a potential move away from Old Trafford. Romano basically has come out today and said that Bruno Fernandes' agent Miguel Pino has met with top European clubs. New Manchester United contract is also possible, but depends on the manager and the new Manchester United project. As we know, United are entering into a little bit of the unknown. I feel like I've constantly said that I feel like regardless of what happened in the FA Cup final, Erik ten Hag would have been sacked regardless. However, with Man United winning it, and with them now being, what are we, like 9 days or so removed from that FA Cup triumph of Manchester United, and we're still no clearer. Maybe they know inside the club, but outside the club, we are still no clearer to finding the answer to whether or not Erik ten Hag is going to stay or not. It kind of puts Man United's future in a little bit of doubt and a little bit of uncertainty and a little bit of the unknown. So, with that being said, what do the players think of it? Do the players know? Seemingly not, according to Romano, if Fernandes is considering his future. And then it goes on to say that Al Nassr of Saudi Arabia are also considering Fernandes as an option to buy as well. They are considering trying their luck with a £128 million bid for Fernandes. That again is following on from Romano. So the overall seemingly storyline here is that Fernandes is a little bit uncertain about the Manchester United project. He's a little bit uncertain about the manager situation, and he's considering his options basically. And I would have no issue if that was my player in his agent putting his business out there, because let's face it, your agent is in business for the player, not in business for the club, in business for the player. Testing the waters, maybe even negotiating maybe a new contract at Manchester United could obviously be on the cards as well. Maybe he's trying to leverage better money, a better deal, that kind of thing. So there could also be a possibility in that as well. The current contract of Fernandes does actually run out in 2 years' time, so at the end of 2026. There is obviously an optional 1 year extension, as there always is with Manchester United contracts. It's been the way that they negotiate their deals. So, realistically, 2026, 2027, really. But even then, when you consider the age of Bruno Fernandes, when you consider the money that's being talked about, he's 29 years of age. So he's not getting any younger. He's still in the prime of his career. He's still unbelievable. When he's playing well, he is unbelievable. And as a Liverpool fan, I have no issue in saying that. As a footballer, when he is on the top of his game, he is unbelievable. It's when he's not on his game and he's too busy focusing on riling up the opposition or crying to the referee, I find it to be completely pathetic. I find it to be completely stupid. But there's no doubt there is a talented, quality player in there in Bruno Fernandes. But when you consider the fact that Bayern Munich are said to be interested as one of the top clubs from Europe, when you consider that Al Nassr of Saudi Arabia are planning a £128 million bid for him personally, Bayern Munich, although they had an absolutely terrible season by their usual standards, under Vincent Kompany, I know that obviously he has a lot to prove himself, but they're still going to be one of the top dogs in European football, in terms of the Champions League, in terms of their own domestic league, in terms of winning more silverware. Remember, this is a guy that's only just won an FA Cup. Obviously, he won the Carabao Cup last season, but he's only won 2 English domestic cups to his name in the several years that he's been at Manchester United. Bayern Munich could represent trophies for him. You think about how he could link up with the likes of Harry Kane, Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry, Leon Goretzka over there, Joshua Kimmich. So many exciting prospects over in Bayern Munich for him, as well as obviously linking up with different players, the excitement that could bring, and obviously the excitement of winning trophies as well. Especially if you're considering that United is a bit of an uncertain time right now. And then you've got the Al Nassr situation where £128 million for a 29-year-old attacking midfielder. That could be a massive opportunity for Manchester United to cash in. Just under 130 million for a 29-year-old playmaker who will turn 30 in September. So right at the beginning of next season, pretty much, he will turn 30. This could represent a massive money-making opportunity for Manchester United. And I'm not saying it as a money-making opportunity for the Glazers to stash in their back pocket, but it's clear and evident that this Man United side is in need of a major rebuild. It needs ripping out and starting again. It needs all burning down and starting again on fresh foundations. That 128 million could go a hell of a long way to rebuilding if they have changed their backroom staff, their recruitment staff, and everything else in between, like they say they are doing. That could be a massive opportunity to show for it. Cash in on Fernandes and bring the money in to spend on a few decent players that can really help the rebuild of this overall squad. Again, from the outside looking in, I like Fernandes as a player, and when he is on top of his game, there is, in my opinion, not many, or even if that, no one better in that number 10 role than what Bruno Fernandes can bring. But the inconsistency that he sometimes does show, the lack of maturity, the lack of leadership that he can often show, would, in my opinion, be concerning. And that is why I would and not only that, but I know obviously you can't majorly factor in his age to a great extent, but I would still keep one eye on the fact that he's turning 30 at the beginning of next season. It could be too big of an opportunity for Manchester United not to turn down. It could also be a big opportunity for Fernandes not to turn down, whether it be financially or whether it be trophy-wise. It could be huge for him. Like I say, he's not getting any younger. There's no guarantees on his future. And with obviously United in the Europa League this season, although that is a very good opportunity for United to not only win a trophy, but to also gain another gateway into the Champions League for the follow-on season, at least with Bayern Munich, you are guaranteed Champions League football pretty much. Unless they have another even more disastrous season than what they just had, which is going to be highly unlikely. they are at least guaranteed access into the Champions League for the follow-on season. Well, for the immediate season and for the follow-on season. United, it's not so much a guarantee. It poses intriguing thoughts. It poses intriguing questions. And like I say, I would imagine that a lot of United fans are going to be very much divided on this. I think this could actually divide more people than what many people may think. I think people may see the Bruno Fernandes that turned up in like the final few games of Manchester United's season and sort of inconsistently dotted around these past couple of years or so and go, that's the Fernandes that I love, that's the Fernandes that I want, and we should not consider selling him because he's too much of a valuable asset to us. And I 100% understand and get that. But I also see the Fernandes that is inconsistent. I also see the Fernandes that can be a pathetic, whiny, moaning rat that I despise on a personal level rather than as a professional footballer level. And I also see the side where it's like, Fernandes is 29 years of age. United are going for a major rebuild right now where there's no guarantees. They're entering into the unknown. The club themselves seemingly don't even know what they want to do with their own manager right now. I think there could be interesting times lying ahead for Manchester United, particularly in this transfer window, and obviously with the managerial situation, it seems an understatement in saying that. But in terms of some of the players that you would probably say, I want to keep as a United fan, if you're out there watching this, I think there are interesting times when it comes to these types of players. In terms of their development, in terms of their growth, and it's really going to be telling on the new ownership how far they have come. With everything changing behind the scenes, ripping everything out, starting again, and trying to rebuild the club to its former glory. And I think Fernandes staying or going could be telling. It could be telling on his part. But on the flip side of that, if he does go, like I say, it will also be telling on how you deal with that loss. It will be a big loss, and there'll be big shoes to fill for whoever's going to come in with that for the Bruno Fernandes money, if that is to obviously go ahead. But this could be a very telling situation for Manchester United, for the new board, the new ownership, and everything else in between, as to what they are doing, the direction they're going in, and whether it is the right call to make. I'm very much intrigued to see how they handle this. For me personally, I think it's something to be strongly considered, particularly if the 128 million from Al Nassr, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I'm probably butchering that name horribly. If that comes in, that is strongly considering his age, considering his immediate future, considering the amount of money that's probably going to be banded around. So, yeah, it's very interesting. And like I say, I don't hold it against his agent. His agent is only in business for not only himself but his client. Obviously, with the uncertainty around Manchester United, it seems only logical that those two things would correlate and go ahead. And obviously, now that Romano's talking about it, you can kind of maybe understand that there may be some weight behind it. They're probably the story probably does hold some water at some point along the way. Obviously, there is the other side of things, which I briefly mentioned earlier, that Fernandes may just be telling his agent to do this just to hold out for a better deal at Manchester United. Maybe he's trying to use that as leverage to obviously gain a better contract later on down the line, as Romano goes on to state that a new United contract isn't out the realms of possibility. So, a lot of factors in this, but certainly one to keep your eye on for going forward into the summer. But one thing is for certain, the rumour mill is continuing to spin, and it is definitely heating up in the very early stages of the soon-to-be properly open transfer window. These are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of the Bruno Fernandes story? Do you see him leaving Manchester United this summer? Do you see him staying at Manchester United this summer? And what about anything else I talked about with this story? I would love to know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That will make for great and interesting reading, I'm sure, down below. So please do get involved down there. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see you speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. Speak to you all again very, very soon.